right. Well, thank you, Lisa, for being here today. Um, we're here to talk a little bit about ICF Wisconsin's pro bono coaching program geared towards leaders of nonprofits. So, my name is Veronica Triggs, and I am a coach and a member of ICF Wisconsin. And I had the pleasure of being part of the pilot program for the pro bono coaching in 2021. And I'm grateful that Lisa was my client and that she chose me. So, Lisa, I'll stop here and give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Great. Thank you. It's great to be with you always. I'm Lisa Strandberg. I'm the Community Engagement Director for Pillars. We are a housing and homelessness nonprofit in the Fox Cities of Wisconsin. I am just delighted to be here and to talk about coaching and the pilot.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you participating today, and hopefully, we'll be able to give people a better idea of what coaching's about and what they can get out of it.
Great.
So, what interested you in working with a coach?
I have a good friend who is now a coach through ICF. And prior to becoming a coach, she engaged in coaching for years and years and years. And she was at that time a leader of a nonprofit, and she was the top leader of that organization. And for her, um, her coaching experience was the safe place for her to go to work through issues. And she's one of the people in this world I most admire, and that she worked with a coach told me that maybe it was something I ought to try too. So when I saw the pilot program come through, I immediately asked her about it because I thought it looked too good to be true. She told me that it was a real thing. And I asked her if she knew any of the coaches on the list who she thought I might click with, and she pointed me to you, Veronica. So did the first 6 sessions and re-engaged several months later, uh, non pro bono, right? Because I saw so much value in it.
Wow, which I'm grateful to hear. And I do want to say a little bit about coaching. It is something where you have to put in the work. It's not like massage where you lay out on a table and I work on you and you just sort of reap the benefits. So, also, I want to acknowledge the fact that you were willing to try coaching, explore what it had to give you. And I'm happy to hear that you got so much out of it that we are now working together in a paid arrangement. So about those 6 sessions, like what did you get out of that?
I think the biggest thing was working through a really sticky problem in my work setting that it was difficult to work through with my leader. Um, I needed some place to get my thinking straight, to develop language and articulation for what I needed in the situation that was sticky. And that the the coaching process really helped reflect back to me my own thinking, but in a clearer, more crystallized way. And I was able then to take that to my work setting and share it out. And that the language that I was going to say I think that I produced at your prompting and with your coaching, I was able to take that language back, and that language became part of the parlance that we used in the workplace, my leader and I. And the phrase was in particular that I think of was trusted partner. That I became a trusted partner. So that really was helpful. It helped me reframe things. It helped me see reality more clearly, and um, to, with that clearer view, be more effective in the workplace.
Wow. And you know, I was there and just hearing you reflect that back, I do remember us in the beginning where you had said that you wanted to become that trusted partner and you felt like you were in a spot where that didn't seem like that could happen. So to see the
Right.
work you do.
Right.
It,
It is work, and it is work. You brought that up earlier. You didn't, right, work some magic on me. You listened, you reflected back, you asked what I was experiencing. And even there was work in the session and there was work between the sessions too. And having to really think hard about the why and the why and the why and the what it means. It was really clarifying.
yeah.
Mhm.
And you talked about this work between sessions. So, and how that helped clarify. Like, what about that was so impactful versus us just talking and having no action?
Right. I think that so I don't know what every coaching client's homework between sessions looks like. I only know what mine looks like. But in my case, most often the homework was really about focusing on some behavior, some activity, some attitude of mine, and noticing it when it happened and adjusting or rejecting or adapting or whatever in that specific instance the case was. So I don't know if that looks different for different clients, but for me, that was what worked. And that coaching is really about what works for and serves you as the client. And Veronica, you as a coach, mm, I just see yourself as kind of molding yourself to what I need, right? So it's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So, just going to take that in. Thank you for the compliment. And to your point about molding what you need and how it's tailored for you, um, it really is. Hopefully, we designed how we wanted to work together
Mhm.
because the whole reason why we met was to help you achieve your goals. So you mentioning that this idea of, really tailoring it, like people say all sorts of platitudes or advice or, these generic things. And so what I'm hearing from you is that coaching really is, how you get to decide what works and you get to decide what doesn't work, which both are data points.
Right. That expression you just used, what I'm hearing is one I hear a lot in sessions. What I'm hearing is, and that's exactly what I mean about reflecting back, often in a more succinct isn't the right word, crystalline is the word that comes to mind for me. Like I spout out all this stuff and then you reach out your hand with this gem in it, this jewel, this crystal, right?
Right.
Um, what I'm hearing is, and here it is. But
Well, and
it's
it's
exactly what I was saying. It's not here's what I think you should do, Lisa. It's exactly what I was saying, but you've listened so closely and carefully,
yeah.
in a way that with all the interference that goes on in one's own mind, you can't necessarily listen to yourself.
Well, and it's funny that you call what is said from my mouth like a gem. And I'm glad that you acknowledge that really it's my interpretation of what you said. So kind of I don't know, I guess as you were saying that, and this is a something that I say, like it's almost like I'm holding up a mirror, giving you some distance, like, hey, this is what I hear your story is. But you tell me, what I'm saying, is that right? And if not, like, let's talk about that. What part's not quite right?
Right, right. All the expressions, the phrases that like all very familiar.
Yeah.
It's I admire what you do as a coach, what coaches do generally. I've only worked with one coach, so I can't say that they're all as good as you are. I hope they are. I'm sure they are because ICF makes sure they are. But um, what it's I feel such gratitude for it because it seems like such a self-emptying practice. Like that it you really are there attending fully to me, and it you don't get that very many places, you know? There isn't an agenda. You're not listening so that you can say the thing you wanna say. You're listening to say the thing I'm trying to say.
How I feel like I'm getting into coaching mode. How is that different than things that you've tried before? Or how did that help you get to what you were looking for out of coaching?
Well, I think, like, you and I have talked a few times about coaching not being therapy, and I've done therapy too. Um, Coaching is so forward moving rather than backward looking, and both are important in their way. Um, but right now I'm in a place where forward is where I want to go. And I think for that reason, just thinking about what works and holding on to that is, is serving me well.
Well, and I mean, you've made goals for yourself that you've achieved or are in the process of achieving.
Hmm. I
So,
have. And I
wow.
don't know if I could do it without you, honestly. I mean, it's pretty pivotal to
Yeah.
be working with you on that.
Thank you. I feel like I need to acknowledge. And at the same time, if there's anything that you want somebody who might be thinking about coaching, that may be watching this video, uh, if there's one thing that you want them to know, what is that one thing?
I want them to know that you will just see yourself more clearly, and you will, if your experience is like mine, you will see more of the good in yourself than uh, you might have been able to see without coaching. And gosh, if the pilot program's an option, why not try it, right? It's a deal. It's a gift, and um, I know that it's made me a clearer thinker, and it's helped me see myself more clearly.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for sharing with us today. I know that
Pleasure.
just personally, I really enjoyed working with you, and I'm really happy to have been a part of this program and to see that it's helped you the way that it has. And hopefully, others will watch this and will be willing to try a commitment of 6 sessions free of charge. It is 6 hours of their time plus that between session practice that you were talking about. And maybe they could explore and see how that goes for them.
I think they ought to.
Well, is there anything else you would like to talk about, or do you
Not a
feel like
thing. Not a thing. Just thanks for the opportunity to think about this together. This isn't how we usually operate together, and this has been fun.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you for joining me, and hopefully this is helpful for others that are contemplating being a part of the program.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye. Okay.